What is that on your wrist there, stranger? Let me see, is that a bracer of the Mammedans? But then...
Wait, this? How did you know? It's just a keepsake from a friend.
A keepsake? From a friend? You tell your friend, then, that Patroclus waits for him, and that he holds no grudge should he return to him.
How fare your labours, lad? You have a certain look about you.
It's just... Within Elysium, I happened on a shade who said he knew you, said he misses you. Do you know a Patroclus, sir?
What? Yes. I knew Patroclus. Is he alright?
I don't know. He seemed like he's known better times than these. Is there something I should say to him if I run into him again?
Please send him my regards. And all my love. I think of him always, but I cannot see him any longer. And you mustn't ask me why, do you understand? Now, leave me be, please, lad. I need some time.
I take care then, sir.
Although... So, how's Achilles doing lately, stranger? I figured you could tell me since you've all this access to him, and I don't.
He's forced to do my father's bidding, and sworn to secrecy, apparently. I don't pretend to fully understand, but all in all, I think he's doing well. I hope you'll see him for yourself.
You don't fully understand, but hope. I see. Well, if you do get to the bottom of this little mystery at some point, you'll indulge me, won't you?
I'll see what I can do about it, sir.
Hey, listen a moment, lad. I require your discretion with regards to whom we spoke about last time. The shade you met with at Elysium.
I understand. What can I do about this, sir? There must be something. But you have to let me know what's going on.
Simply put, he is the reason that I'm here. Patroclus lost his life before I did, because of me. I shortly followed, in a rage. When I arrived here, I received a hero's welcome. Your father himself ushered me to Elysium. But that's not what I wanted.
You wanted to see Patroclus, but he's in Elysium while you... Oh no.
I signed a pact, lad. Felt the terms were good enough. He could live there, while I'd live here, at least for now. Such deals are most uncommon, and their confidentiality must be upheld. But let's speak no more of this for now, all right? Some other time.
All right. You have to tell me more about this pact you signed, Achilles. You and Patroclus. So you're doomed to never be together, then?
You must safeguard the details of it, lad. Although it's not as bad as you make out. I ensured Patroclus is provided for. We wouldn't have been together anyway. Initially, he wasn't sent into Elysium, you see.
There has to be a way for me to make this right. Not just for him. For you.
You've other pressing matters to attend to, lad. And Patroclus and I have ample time to wait this out. I know you mean well, but... do not discuss this matter with your father now. I fear that it could make things worse. Do you understand?
I do. I think.
Is this how you treated me? Why, you must think that I abandoned you in life. When I went off to war without you, is that it? You think I had a choice? He's never going to return to me, is he? He's in your father's service now. He's never getting out. Neither are you.
No, that's not acceptable to me. None of it.
How bold. So what do you intend to do? You're leaving anyway.
I'll figure something out. But you do something for me in the meantime. Don't give in to what you're feeling now, alright? Achilles loves you still. Like you don't know.
Does he? I'm past the point of making promises, but I pray the fates help you in your endeavors there.
Achilles, if a friend of yours were in need of assistance, but the only way you could assist them was to somehow change the terms of an ancient pact Father probably forced on them, what would you do?
I would be very careful, above all. Do you understand, lad? I would not wish to make things any worse. How many pacts such as the one you're thinking of are buried back in the administrative chamber there? Even your father can't keep track. Although, perhaps Nyx can.
Nyx, you're right. She knows everything. Wouldn't hurt to ask her, I suppose.
Just watch yourself. Ah, now this is something, lad. I'd hate to think that you've returned to bring me this just for my sake. Though I'm grateful, really.
You've always been there for me, Achilles. Even when Father pushed me away. This is nothing. I don't think I can ever repay you. The fallen warrior in Elysium we spoke of. He seems like a good man, though was he always the despondent sort?
No, lad. I was that sort, I think, but he was not. He was one of the only men I knew who did not look upon me as a threat. He saw something in me I never knew was there, and in turn, with him, I felt, how to describe it, calm, whole.
I'm restless all the time. I can only imagine.
He had this wry humor about him, like he was wise beyond his years, a quality I trust shall see him through his struggles now, although I hoped residing in Elysium would mean he wouldn't have to struggle any longer.
He shouldn't, sir, and neither should you.
He's just as obstinate as ever, isn't he? Always refused to budge. He ever tell you of the war in which we fought? I fought, I should say. He could have ended it, but he refused to take up arms.
Achilles hasn't been particularly forthcoming about his mortal days, no. So he wouldn't fight. I've heard that mortals sometimes frown on that, but why should he have fought if he didn't believe in the cause?
He shared our cause. So what if it was not completely his? If not for his stubbornness, I would have come here just a bit later, I think.
He blames himself for what happened to you, you know. I figured he failed to defend you or something, not that he didn't fight at all. Although he said something about how, once you died, he shortly followed in a rage.
I wouldn't know a thing about that, stranger, for you see, I was already dead. Getting my place here in the afterlife all sorted out. Took quite some time getting accustomed to all this.
Achilles, I was wondering if you'd split this with me at the lounge. A small excuse for both ourselves to take a break.
Are you most certain you have time for me now, lad? Though how could I decline? I'll see you there. I was a fool, you see. The gods promised me eternal glory beyond death. I could have stayed out of the war, stayed home with Patroclus. I threw everything away, and sent so very many to this place.
What's done is done, sir. In my mind, you're the greatest warrior who ever lived. So is it glory you still seek, or is it Patroclus?
It isn't glory anymore, lad. I'm sure of that. Patroclus, however, I fear he's gone to me forever. Although his shade might yet reside within this realm, we left on terms I'd not forgive if I were him. Though, I had better get back to my post now, I think. I hope I didn't cast a greater pall over this place back there. I'm very thankful that we had this chance to get caught up. Now you had best be off. Take care out there.
Whatever happened with that war you mentioned, sir, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, truth be told here, stranger, I do mind. You speak as one who's not experienced a war. Those of us who survived, or you know what I mean, we do bear some responsibility to history. But all the same, it's not a time and place to which I would return. I trust you'll understand.
Achilles, now that I have access to the administrative area again, I've access to the archives, and I have some authority to void those under certain circumstances. So about your pact.
I know you mean well, lad, and from the bottom of my heart, where once it was, I thank you truly for the thought. However, don't exert your influence on this. Not now, at least. The fates can twist intentions. I don't want to take the risk.
You're sure? Well then, I'll wait. But I am going to ask you again. We have to find a way to fix this. Patroclus is waiting. Achilles, would you tell me something more of Patroclus? You mentioned you were very close.
We could have been no closer. The ashes of our bodies yet mingled together somewhere on the surface there. What can I tell you, lad? I loved him with all my heart. And he left me too soon.
But now you're both here in the underworld. Can't you go seek him out? Or alter your arrangement with my father?
I tried, lad. I have tried. On both accounts. What you propose is not that simple, it turns out. But I shall tell you what. When next you see Patroclus on your journeys, you keep speaking to him for me, won't you?
I'll do what I can.
A question, if you don't mind, stranger. Because I've had one nagging at me since we last discussed the subject. What exactly happened to Achilles, can you say? After I died, that is. I've heard the rumors, but I don't trust any of this boastful lot.
Well, from what I gathered, sir, after you fell, he was overcome with grief and anger. He joined the war just like you urged, and single-handedly he almost ended it.
So then, he threw away his life. Soon enough after I lost mine. Yet despite vanquishing an army on his own, he wound up in the lowest pits of Tartarus. Instead of here, among the great.
You should know, sir. You were buried together. Your ashes, that is. It was his final request. As for how he came to be at my father's house, that's something I think he can best explain. And I will do everything I can to make sure that he has the opportunity.
Our ashes, you say? Together? The fool. We could have lived, not been reduced to meal for the worms, but I appreciate the information, stranger. Now, please go. Forgive me, stranger, for, in retrospect, I was too terse after you told me what became of my Achilles. Tales of his climactic battle I had heard. The stuff about his ashes and my own, that was all new.
No need to even ask forgiveness, sir. Achilles is one of my closest friends, but he doesn't care to talk about himself, about those times. It must be very painful for the both of you.
Oh, we've all seen our share of pain by now. But knowing that he cared for me in the end, after the end, it dulls the feeling of it for a bit. As do these conversations, I guess.
How is he anyway, if you've encountered him of late during your journeys, lad? The fallen warrior you've run into in Elysium, that is.
He's doing relatively well, I think. There's a lot you've told me that he didn't know about what led up to his present circumstances and your own.
You told him then, without requesting my consent to tell him first. What exactly did you say to him?
Achilles, I'm sorry. I just told him about your ashes being intermingled, that whole thing, and about the pact. You told me once to send him your love and regards. This brought him no joy, only questions. You told me not to speak to father, not to him.
You're right, I should have specified, or shouldn't have, because what you said probably is for the best. I didn't mean to lose my temper with you, lad, it's just... Look, thank you for looking out for him, for both of us. Just please be careful.
I swear I will.
Was I deceived, thinking this of you, of us? Well, I've meant to ask you something, stranger. Would you mind doing me a favor, please? If it happens to come up along your path. Suppose I ought to tell it to you first, prior to asking a response.
No, of course, sir. What is it? What's on your mind?
If I know my Achilles, then he's being rather guarded when it comes to this predicament we're in. How can somebody be so brash, yet hate to take unnecessary risks? Just let him know I said to risk it all.
Risk it all? Risk what all? He wants what's best for you. He wouldn't want anything to happen.
It's already long since happened. I dare say that right now, provided what you've said is true, then it appears we've more to gain than lose. Isn't fear for the weak?
I have a message for you from the fallen warrior over in Elysium, Achilles, sir. He simply said to let you know to risk it all.
To risk it all? He said to risk it all?
Yes. Is there something significant about that phrase?
When last he said to risk it all to me, I didn't listen to him then, but should have. I should have.
He's asking you to take another chance.
No. He's giving me another chance, I think. Leave me, lad, for now. Thank you for telling me.
I always wondered, sir, what was Achilles like? During his youth, I mean, if you can say.
How to describe what somebody was like? Everyone who saw him on the battlefield agreed he was magnificent, stranger. His allies and his enemies alike. But there was more to him, I think. A certain outlook. A sense of justice. I knew him before he was a warrior. Only reason I suppose I liked him.
About risking it all, sir. Did you come to any decision about what that meant? What you should do?
I'm getting there, lad. In battle, I would operate on instincts, make snap judgments almost instantly. In other matters, though, I need some time. Your patience, please. I'll let you know if I can figure something out.
Please do.
I need your help with something, lad. As I'm about to risk it all, I think. Will you hear me out?
Of course, sir. What is it? I'm listening.
The pact I signed with your father. It must be buried somewhere down in the administrative chamber there. I I dared not ask that you locate it, out of fear that tampering with it would only make things worse, except
that fear is for the weak, Achilles, sir.
Indeed. Besides, your father has been more abiding than I expected with how you were able to void the pact that separated Orpheus and Eurydice. So perhaps my case isn't a lost cause yet.
I'll speak with Nyx about it the next chance I get. And I'll be careful, sir. I promise you.
You have my thanks.
I'm working on trying to find your pact, Achilles. Just need a little more time to sort it out.
I've nothing if not patience, lad. And I shall try to keep my hopes in check. Thank you for your effort around this. When next we speak of it, may be when you've succeeded.
I happen to be looking into our security situation here, just running background checks, that sort of thing. And I was wondering if you could help me locate an old pact signed by Achilles. Nyx. It would mean a lot. Not just to him, but me.
Achilles. We would struggle to put someone comparable in his role. Though, be that as it may. Epsilon Iota Theta, Rho Folter, middle, I believe. You are certain about this child?
Couldn't be more certain, Nyx. Thinking I ought to check the old administrative chamber now. Should check the admin chamber for the pact Nyx mentioned.
Buried deep within the archives, holding many binding pacts between Lord Hades and the dead, resides an old agreement. In exchange for services from an extraordinary warrior, for eternity within Elysium, for his dear partner.
Should be able to approve a few revisions to that one with the house contractor, I think. It's the revised Achilles Pact. In the name of Hades, the shade of Achilles is hereby no longer barred from visiting Elysium.
Such leniency with binding pacts shall tarnish our good reputation at this rate.
Highness.
Achilles, your pact with Father is officially amended, sir. Specifically, it no longer has any stipulation barring you from entering Elysium during the indefinite term of your employment. On my authority in the name of Hades. Thank you for your service.
Oh, are you... You're serious? I'm able to go. You're right, I feel it. I'm unbound. So I can simply leave right now.
You can simply leave right now. And might I add, it's about damn time.
I should get going then, although I'm unprepared. I didn't think it would come to this. Not that I had no faith in you, it's just...
Incidentally, there's this one glade out in Elysium I highly recommend. Go to him, sir. You've waited long enough. Fear is for the weak.
Fear is for the weak. Farewell for now, lad. I can't thank you enough.
Farewell for now, sir.
And then, when that...
Hey, that's a kid.
Well, not for you, Dad. I don't even have to think about what I'd have done. The war would have gone differently then, I suppose.
Why, look who? to you, but how strange to see you face to face out here, lad. To see this place myself, I still can't quite believe any of this.
He really can't. Though I keep telling him it's true. Nothing's accomplished without risk, isn't that so? But we of course have you to thank, stranger. Our troubles needn't have been your concern.
Nonsense, sir. You're my friend. And Achilles. I don't know where I would even be if not for you.
Well, no need to get emotional, is there? We Myrmidons were not the sentimental type. Achilles is simply on break, is all. From a demanding job. You've a demanding job as well, so here, my customary gift. Achilles has returned to work for now, but waiting for him, knowing he'll return, rather than waiting for the sake of it, for nothing. Such a different feeling, stranger. I'd forgotten it entirely, I think.
I'm happy for the both of you. So, is everything all right then? The circumstances under which you were separated in life. It's unimaginable, really. How does one move on from a thing like that?
Anger fades, I guess, stranger. Even the famous anger of Achilles. Anger burns hot, then burns out. What's left is a dull ache, but underneath it, there was something else. It felt as though, well, I was still alive. That feeling, it's worth holding on to.
Achilles! Sir, you're back. How was it in Elysium? Was everything all right?
It went well, lad. As well as I could have hoped. Better than I might have feared. Hey, don't take Patroclus calling you stranger personally, all right? He has less charitable terms for those he doesn't care for.
Come on, Achilles, I want details here. What happened with you two, if you don't mind?
Well, thankfully, your efforts meant that no words really needed to be said when I arrived. He simply said my name. Then we just were. Two souls, together in one spot. The way shades linger. It looks mournful, right? But it isn't always.
That's wonderful to hear. He seemed uplifted in your presence. You must have lots of catching up to do.
Lots of making up for lost time. And finally we have some time to spare. It's odd, because so many of my memories of him are from a time of war. Now we can make new memories, in peace. Anyway, see you out there again sometime, I hope.
Count on it, sir. I saw Achilles with Patroclus in Elysium next. They're free to be together now, thanks to you. If only you could have seen them.
Oh, I can see them, my child, and I have. And it pleases me Achilles has earned some degree of respite from his servitude, for all his loyalty to our house. For what you have done for him, thank you.
Father isn't going to be thrilled I've let him out of a binding pact.
Your father is committed to his rules, and you've released Achilles from his pact according to those rules. There is not much that even he can do about it, save to have Achilles sign again.
Don't see Achilles doing that anytime soon.
It seems Achilles had a complicated arrangement with your father. I understand you simplified things for the better there, and he was able to visit Elysium at last. Well done.
Thank you. He more than deserved it.
Oh, hi! Oh, Prince, I heard the news about Master Achilles. That's so great. I'm going to miss him being here as often as he used to, but I'm just so happy for him and for you.
Me too, Dusa. The happy for him part at any rate. He's a good friend, and he deserved much better than to be stuck here.